social justice is really critically important. As we look to the future, we see things like poverty being incredibly expensive. And as we look at the way in which the world is networked, we've got to find a way that we can truly make the universal rights as outlined by the United Nations a reality. At one point, we had the highest number of children of first world countries living beneath the poverty level in this country. So how do we ensure that all people have their basic human rights fulfilled so that they can pursue life, liberty, and happiness? And that's going to involve some issues where we have to look at things like how do we care for the elderly, especially if they outnumber the young? How are we going to care for children living in urban schools that are so poor? It's almost an insult, and it really affects the kids in terms of their learning to go to these schools that are so poor compared to the schools where they have swimming pools. And I was in a school where the parents bought a tennis club to enhance the PE program, while other students don't have any real resources for something like physical education. Or think of the world right now with technology. In Japan, some of the schools, every student has a computer where they can be developing computer literacy, and especially information literacy. And then look at how we tend to have technology in our elementary and secondary schools. So we have a lot of work to do in terms of technology. If we look at it, one of the foremost organizational theorists of the past century, Peter Drucker, who studied the patterns in history to look at what happened when there were tremendous upheavals as societies went through paradigm shifts. The technology that we're facing today is such a paradigm shift. And in the last book he wrote, he said 50 years from now, people will look back on this time and see there wasn't a crisis in education, rather there was a growing disconnect between the way schools teach and the way students learn. And he was referring, of course, to the fact that 4-year-olds and 5-year-olds are interacting with technology, while people like myself are going to these young kids saying, can you help me figure out this? Can you help me hook up the Fios on TV or whatever the thing's called? And so I'm really understanding what it means to be a digital immigrant compared to the digital natives who are 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years of age. And so I think technology is something that's going to transform the world. And if we're going to talk social justice, if we don't close the digital gap, those children who don't have access to technology are going to be at such a disadvantage compared to those children who already, before they ever come to school, have all this cognitive development because they've been manipulating technology.